our next talk is a team from MCP-Cloud AI, and we've got Vali and Alex. Super excited for this talk. Alex, you're gonna kick us off, and yeah, really excited to hear more.
Yep.
Okay, I'll start my presentation. Let's put it here, and if everybody can see, Vali will start doing a small intro. Go ahead, Vali.
Yeah, thank you, Alex. So yeah, both me and Alex, we started MCP Cloud beginning of this year, April, May, because we actually needed it. We were developing agentic workflows, and when you develop them locally, of course, it's easier. But when you deliver those things to customers, then they have to be reachable in the internet. So it started as a need, and then the feedback was quite positive. So that's how we turned into a platform, which is now today MCP Cloud. We are approaching nearly 1,000 users, and I think that's partially because the platform is fairly easy to be used. Goes along with you know, the low code platforms. It's very easy to deploy an MCP. Just copy the code, bring it in, and then you start using it. You'll see it later on in the demo that I'm gonna deliver. And partially because we see that a lot of people adopt MCPs. I think I was reading some articles that it's probably one of the technology that with the highest adoption rate. So yeah, both me and Alex, we come from the infrastructure, DevOps, cloud solutions. So it was actually fairly easy for us to start building the platform, make it secure, make it you know, reliable, and that's how we started it. When we started, we didn't have a registry, so we built one, and all the MCP servers available in the registry were tested manually and curated by us, one by one. But I'm gonna hand it on to Alex, so he's gonna walk you through the journey, and also present what you know, what we recently delivered for MCP Cloud.
Hi, everyone. So yeah, as Vali mentioned, this is a platform that allows you users to do cloud-hosted MCP servers that are accessible remotely. It's mainly targeted at people that use workflows and agentic workflows, and that they need to have them running somewhere where they're accessible to be able to kind of execute their workflows at any hour, not just run them locally on their computer. So we offer a very easy way to deploy MCPs from a curated registry. For now, we only allow images which we host on our own platform. It's a one-click infrastructure, basically. It's authenticated. So basically, you can give out access selectively. We recently delivered ability to do MCP aggregation and tool filtering or selection, basically only a subset of the tools. And we also have the ability to do a security assessment. It's kind of like an automatic security assessment of an MCP server to we have some heuristics in place which tell you, okay, this is more dangerous, this gives write access, this gives read access, etc., because many people have asked for this kind of assessment for especially when they start using new MCP servers that they're starting to integrate in their workflows. So just to, I'm gonna tell you a bit why we went with the custom tech stack. Previous architecture when we started off was built based on off-the-shelf parts, and it was quite inflexible when it came to delivering various features. So we said, okay, let's put a bit of effort and build a custom operator and proxy that runs on Kubernetes that will allow us to kind of deliver more specialized features that are not so easy to do with off-the-shelf parts. We really wanted more control, basically. So yeah, and then we ended up with an operator and a proxy that can be installed on any Kubernetes cluster, which will spin off MCP server pods and allow you to kind of mix and match different tools from different servers based on the filtering that you do in the proxy. So this can be quite flexible. So what it brought us and what we're kind of moving towards at the moment, we deliver tool filtering, tool aggregation as well over multiple MCP servers. We're able to run different MCP servers well, with different transfers, right? As we know, some MCP servers are only able to be executed and with the StdIO transport. Some of them now deliver HTTP, but with this approach, we can mix and match the traffic. So basically, we can have any kind of either like streamable HTTP or SSC, which has been deprecated now, but still a lot of clients use it. And we can send it through the proxy to any kind of transport that an MCP server might support. We do authentication, which is customizable by the user, and it also allows us to do scale down when there's no connectivity after a certain period of time, which also can save on cost for us and the user. What we're heading towards, basically, the whole reason why we built this was to kind of open a bit the future to be able to build more specialized features. As we've seen, basically, there's all kinds of challenges with the MCP protocol and integrating it with agents. For example, we've seen Docker just recently ship this dynamic tooling, and this is what we're working as well at the moment. So a kind of intelligent virtual MCP, which can basically on demand bring whatever tool you might need and even start new MCP servers for you. Real-time security scanning of payloads. We're working on this as well. And we're also considering allowing companies to run this whole tech stack if they want to run it on their own Kubernetes infrastructure as a one-stop solution for running all their MCP servers. Yeah, I would say that's about it with the overview. I think Vali will now do the demo, and we can discuss a bit more about future work and possibilities after the demo.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Alex. So yeah, I think the demo is going to help to clarify exactly how the operator works. So this is basically the dashboard where users can see their MCP servers. They can create new ones and copy like code blocks that they can put into their preferred clients and use them from there. I'm not gonna dive too much into this thing. We also have the workbench, and this was one of the features that was requested to be able to inspect the tools for different MCPs, to scan them, as well as to monitor them. So those are available, and I think what we're trying to build is try to build a Swiss knife for the MCPs, so the users can have a good understanding of what they're running and how they're running. But the feature that was that we released a couple of weeks ago is this virtual MCP. That's how we decided to call it, and this allows users to basically aggregate different MCPs or very specific tools from different MCPs into one single endpoint. So it's fairly easy. I'm just gonna choose a couple of them, and I'll build one of the virtual MCPs. What I'm gonna do, I will remove all the destructive tools, so to say, the ones that can alter the Notion database, for instance, in this case, and retrieve query, create comment, and then I'll just do the same for the other one. That's a Neo4j MCP, so I'm not going to allow it to perform any write or delete actions. It's only going to be allowed to read. So we're just going to copy the NA10 block. We're going to move to NA10. I hope it's visible. And we just have this MCP endpoint available, and we already see the tools available. So we see the Neo4j tools along with the Notion tools, the one that we made available for it. So it's that easy. What Alex mentioned, now we're using the streamable HTTP. We also have support for server-sent events, and it's as simple as just changing the endpoint here, and then we'll be able to retrieve the tools. Previously, users were forced to redeploy the MCPs if they want to change the protocol. So that is one of the virtual MCPs, and I'm just gonna run some couple of prompts for this is gonna retrieve some incidents from a Notion database. This was part of the workshop that we delivered a couple of months back, and we're gonna ask the agent to perform some changes into that one. So one of the multiple benefits of being able to filter out the tools at the MCP level is that will especially when enterprises are going to adopt these things broadly, then you can select which MCPs and which tools you want to give to certain users. So for instance, imagine that if you run in development, you should be able to run destructive actions such as drop tables, delete, updates, but maybe in production you don't want to do those things. So I think that's where the virtual MCPs would allow enterprises to have more control over how they want to operate and use their infrastructure services. So yeah, I was able to retrieve, like, there are like three incidents in a Notion database. We're not going to focus on that one. I'm just gonna ask if we have any Neo4j entries for these incidents. I'm gonna ask it to so this single MCP is gonna be able to run connect to both Notion and Neo4j at the same time. So I think we're moving the MCPs closer to the agents to really fulfill their to be able to fulfill their tasks reduce the context, so they don't have to load all the tools and all that information in the context, because what we notice is that the smaller agents, the smaller models, that they don't deal very well with the MCPs that supply a lot of tools. They get confused. They don't know which one to use, and that's a big problem. But once you know how you want to run the agent and what tasks it's supposed to do, then it's much easier to select the tools and allow it to use only those tools only. Yep. Yeah, this is the agent that.
Very cool, guys. I mean, this is a interesting product and interesting approach. I love how you kind of incorporated Kubernetes into your architecture. I have a couple questions, if
Sure.
you don't mind.
Go ahead.
My first one is just trying to understand, just kind of architecturally, what you guys are delivering. So, is this a SaaS platform? I mean, it looked like it when I went to your cloud. It looked like you log in, you get an account on the dashboard. How does that connect to an operator? Do I run the operator on my own Kubernetes? Maybe you can, tell me a little bit about sort of that and kind of how you guys have approached, the architecture of this whole platform. Because I'm a little bit confused.
Yeah, sure. I'm gonna do an intro, and Alex will take over and explain exactly how the operator works. But the platform allows users to host MCP servers. So in case you need an MCP server, you just go there, pick one from the registry. We have 80 plus templates in there, and then it's a one-click deployment for an MCP. You're then provided with the code block that you can go to the client and then inject it in there. The operator does
let me stop you there for just a second. So
yeah, no worries.
So do I? So if I sign up for an account on the website, I get one. Do I immediately need to install an operator, or can I use your?
No.
I can use your 80
I think
templates out of the box, right?
Yeah. The confusion comes from it's basically a technical implementation detail, and we brought it up because we are thinking to offer it as a separate service, but it's not part of the core offering.
Okay.
Perhaps in the future we're going to offer it as a service, or we even maybe open source it. We haven't really decided about
So
that. We're still kind of
the
working on
operator's
it.
like, so I get I sign up for an account. I have access to a rich set that you guys have curated and developed of MCP servers. And now I want to host my own. I install the operator on my Kubernetes cluster. And then when I identify an MCP that I want deployed, it will actually call from the platform back to the operator and deploy the MCP server. And then it'll show up in my registry. Is that how it works?
Yeah, you make it sound really complicated. No. So the operator is only helping us to deliver.
Only helping your company. It's not helping.
Yes.
So I don't deploy it on my Kubernetes. I deploy it on your Kubernetes, or it's deployed on your Kubernetes.
Yeah, it's deployed now.
That is a different story.
Yes.
So
yes.
Okay.
Companies
so this stuff is all running in the cloud. From as far as I'm concerned, everything is running in the cloud.
Yeah. Everything is running in the cloud, basically. Yeah, exactly.
Got it. Okay, that helps me because I wasn't quite sure if this was running on my Kubernetes. And
yeah.
Okay.
However, enterprises can take this together with the operator and run it internally into their organizations. So this
that makes sense. I mean, that would be going to be my next question: is there an on-prem version of this that I could take and implement the entire stack behind the firewall? I'm like a government, and I want a high level of security. I imagine that's a possibility as well.
Yeah, exactly. We're not doing marketing. We haven't said anything on the website about it yet, but we've had some discussions with a couple of organizations that were interested. First of all, they wanted some expertise on how to run them, and then of course this whole operator idea came through.
Got it. Okay, cool. So that makes sense. Then my second question for you is more about just the business model then. So how do you guys charge for all of this? I sign up and I pay a monthly fee of some kind or another, or is it
exactly
per, based on how many MCPs I use? How do you charge for the platform?
Subscription based, yes. So basically for a number of resources and a number of MCPs. MCP servers.
We have some pre-made packages basically. So we have some tiers, let's say, so which gives you a number
Kind
of
of typical
MCPs with
SaaS pricing. Then I come in,
yeah,
I
it's
sign up,
very
I get
straightforward, and we're still learning a bit. But yeah, this seems it has been working out until now.
perfect. And then my last question, Craig may have some more questions, but my last question I thought was I really was excited when you showed kind of the scanning side in there. Can you explain a little bit about what you do there? I get an MCP server. Now, if it's your MCP server that you guys are providing, I assume I don't really need to scan it. But let's say I'm bringing an MCP server from the wild that I want. I drop it in, I click scan. What happens?
So that was a strategic decision to implement the inspection and the scanning because we started with the templates that we provide for MCPs, but this is the first step towards allowing users to bring their own MCPs, because as part of the deployment of their own MCPs, we're gonna scan them, and if they do not pass that scanning, we're not gonna allow users to deploy those MCPs.
So are
On our
you
platform.
scanning with a specific tool? Like what are you scanning using?
We scan pretty much all the tools available on the
I mean,
MCP.
what are you scanning it against? Is it a whitelist scan? Is it a
Yeah,
blacklist?
it's,
Like
it's like a it's
is it
like a
something you guys
CV,
built, or is it using an open source scanner that you're using?
It uses an open source scanner, and it uses similar to CVE database with the vulnerabilities, and that only applies to the MCPs.
Got it.
So that's what we check it against.
Very cool.
So
Craig, any questions you had? Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I think a couple. One, so is bring your own MCP server in there now, or is that kind of your work?
Not yet. No, we're working towards it, but it's based on your talk and Toby's talk. It was really like inspirational to see. Basically, there's GitHub was working on the registry. Of course, Docker now has a really large registry. And I think it's time to open it up because it is a rat race to keep up, like keeping your own registry. So I think we now have the feature set that I think the next step will be to open it up so people can just point to the registry in GitHub or Docker and just run something from there.
And do you envision supporting, the different runtimes that are out there, NPX, UVX, containerized, kind of any of those?
We already do. Actually, that's one technical detail that we haven't mentioned. That was part of our transition to the operator to be able to we support all the popular ones. So now, right now we support UVX, NPM, and Docker containers. But of course, we can customize the templates to run anything. Anything that can run inside a container is good to go.
Right, makes sense. I always like to ask what's next, like any other big features you're working on or kind of see coming.
Yeah.
Well, go ahead, Vali.
So we have some ideas. So maybe so having this operator will allow us to tap in with controls into the MCP. So basically, you can have segregated permissions that will allow users to access the tools. We can build an MCP to dynamically generate an proxy with certain tools based on the task that an agent would be tasked with. We're also considering exposing public MCP servers via like that behind have access to paid APIs over the X402 payment protocol that was released not so long ago. So we have a lot of ideas.
Yeah.
I would very much like to integrate with your registry because, to be honest, curating 80 plus templates that took a lot of effort from our side.
Oh yeah, I think
but
we're doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And if I may add some notes there, because I really like what Shannon said a bit earlier about having your own MCP. So like right now, if you think about it, MCPs are separate pieces of software that run independently. But I think what people want is a single endpoint, which is theirs, which aggregates all their MCP tools. We don't care if what code, where it's running, how it's running, but you want to be able to access that to be able to kind of achieve that through your agents. And of course, once you layer also something like X402 with payments on top of it, you can really start to have some very interesting interactions there. But these things are kind of developing as we go, and we're looking in that direction, prototyping with some stuff, and it's really exciting. We're also really big users of agents, and we use AI in our day-to-day life, and it feels like I feel naked when I don't have them somehow available. I'm getting dumbed down, which is another maybe side conversation that we shouldn't have now. But
it's funny you say that, Alex. This I had kind of a rough. We had a holiday break last week, and unfortunately, my dad was really sick. He's 82, and he was in the hospital, and he was dealing with pretty serious complications. He was bleeding in his brain, and they had to do CAT scans. I mean, they were trying to stop the bleeding, but he's old enough that it was really challenging, and they weren't sure if they could do surgery. And it was like 4 days of ICUs, and I have this huge extended family, his brothers, his cousins, like my cousins, my sister, everyone. And around halfway through, I started to, kind of start using ChatGPT to just start kind of giving it all the information that's happening. Like, okay, we got this report, and I got this from Kaiser, and I got this piece of information. And I kind of explained to it without creating an agent or anything, but I just was like, hey, look, I'm trying to communicate with all these people, and I've got like 4 levels of depth that I need to communicate what's happening almost in semi-real time, because I'm getting, if I don't communicate, I'm going to get 500 texts from people asking how my dad's doing. And it was amazing that ability, I was having to copy and paste from Kaiser updates and like notes from the doctors and lab results that were coming in talking about specific things. But the ability just to sort of take what I knew and verbally explain it, and then get it pumped out into text I then had to copy and paste. Like we're so close, and yet the hoops that we're jumping through to make it all kind of work together, because Apple sucks and hasn't done shit to make and make any of this stuff work well inside of the Apple ecosystem. And we're getting the same kind of like walled gardens where nothing really works well together, and you're jumping back, and it's like, oh, I've got to. It all kind of sucks, quite honestly.
Basically, you're
without
passing
it,
messages between all these systems.
Yeah, it was like I was literally copy pasting, jumping on my iPhone. Right, I wasn't even doing it on a laptop. I'm trying to go back and forth, and at the same time, if it weren't for that ability to sort of summarize and also answer 100 questions I was having at the same time in a different thread about all my dad's issues, so I could ask intelligent questions to the doctor and sort of not kind of skip ahead a little bit. It was that moment where you're like, my God, how valuable is this technology when it crashes into reality and you're dealing with something urgent, and your point of being naked. Like, I feel like if I hadn't had it, I would have felt completely overwhelmed at this point, which I don't know if that's a crutch that I'm developing. Like, I need it there to fill in gaps in my knowledge, because I'm running into, in this case, neurosurgery, which I know nothing about, obviously. And brain, and I just had this like this feeling that we're just a couple years away from an era of unbelievable experiences, where in the most important moments in our lives, we are going to have enormous support to go through and quickly understand and quickly communicate and quickly comprehend, and just so much. Anyways, it was like that first time that for me, I kind of went beyond like, oh, this is really useful in my day-to-day work life, and I love to like, I don't know how, like, not having it would have absolutely been a different experience. So yeah, it was naked. I think you said it perfectly, Alex. We're entering a very interesting time, and not having it will feel very naked.
Yep.
Well, with that happy thought, guys, congratulations on the company. It looks like you guys are onto an awesome path, and I can't wait to see how you kind of build the virtual MCP stuff up, and where you end up going with your company. And everyone out there that's watching, go give it a download, give it a play, sign up for a trial, and see what you can do with mcp-cloud.ai. Guys, thanks for joining us today. It was really fun.
Thank you. It was a pleasure.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good one.
Thank you.
You too. Bye.
Bye.